You are not failing to Christmas properly. You might be choosing to Christmas a little less or a little more than usual. You are not failing. You are not failing if you are missing gifts, or if you're missing people, or if you have people but they're the same ones that you've had for 10 months straight, you're wishing you had a little less of them for a while, or if you have people but you only have them on Zoom because you want to have them again next year. And you're not failing if you're just planning to spend your holidays drinking and watching Netflix and eating what you're telling yourself is candy left over from Halloween, except you've finished and rebought it 4 times. You are not failing if you can't somehow wrestle the true meaning of Christmas out of the dumpster fire going on around us like they always can on the made-for-TV movies, because the made-for-TV movies were lying to you. Everyone lied to you about Christmas. Martha Stewart lied to you about the decor. And the stores lied about how much anyone likes those stupid shrink-wrapped baskets, and Pinterest lied about absolutely freaking everything because lying is what Pinterest does best. The church lied about when Jesus was born, and a whole bunch of people lied about Santa, and everybody lies about what a normal family looks like. This is all crap. It's not the real story. The real story is about a terrified refugee family huddled in a barn that was all animal poop and noise when they arrived and probably wasn't improved in smell or looks by the impromptu childbirth with the no running water. There was no scrubbed face of Jesus, no clean and glowing straw bales, and animals in barns do not kneel in tidy rows like that. So if you are worried about the cleanliness of your house, try comparing it to the scene of the alleged first Christmas and think, at least there is not a cow pooping in my living room, and there is virtually no blood on my floor. Because you can forget right now about the glued cranberry wreath that you saw on Martha Stewart's Pinterest, because that is not the real spirit of Christmas. That's the real spirit of Martha Stewart. The real spirit of Christmas is Mary hoping the stupid star doesn't get any brighter, because just as people were arriving, she subtly kicked her placenta under the manger to hide it, and it is still kind of peeking out. In fact, her placenta is now about 6 inches from the foot of one of the allegedly wise men. You know, the trio that thought it was okay to drop in immediately post-childbirth without so much as a sandwich and a hemorrhoid pillow. And if Lord Sir Unrealistic Expectations moves just a little bit, he's going to step on the placenta, and he is definitely going to startle, and then he's going to bump into the kid that brought a freaking drum into a herd of livestock clustered around a newborn baby. That's the spirit of Christmas. You know the traditional Mary pose where she's got her head tucked and she's looking down? Am I the only one who thinks that it is very clear that what's actually happening there is she's nodded off and she's having a dream in which she pushes a cow over and it falls and it crushes every single one of her guests to death? And that is the real spirit of Christmas, is endurance and exhaustion and making do. Maybe. Except the real Christmas doesn't come from Mary and Joseph. It isn't like there was that night of the first one and then it went on loop like that for many thousands of years until the liberal media started saying happy holidays and everybody started arguing. No, Christmas has roots all over. Modern Santa Claus is a mashup of about 4 different guys. Santa Claus had slaves, used to stuff bad children into sacks and kick them. And don't get me started on the December 25th thing, which actually comes from the pagans hosting big parties for the return of the sun, and then the Christians got arrived and they said, well, these parties, heathenist evil doing, and they got uppity, so the pagans were all, but we're celebrating the birth of your Jesus fellow. And then the pagans got to keep the solstice with a little rebranding, like we kept Santa Claus but did a quick ixnay on the icking K. So you are not failing to Christmas properly if you can't recreate what you do each year, because even without the pandemic going on, the Christmas you're trying to return to never happened. December isn't a season of beauty and depth and connection that's been screwed up by a pandemic. It's screwed up every year. It disappoints us in one way or another every year. The only constant of Christmas is it's constantly getting remade to fit the world of the people who are celebrating it. It's about making do with a barn and a family with some heavy paternity questions going on, making do with a festival that gets jerry-rigged to keep it alive and avoid persecution, making do with decorations, decking the halls with literally whatever garbage you found in the woods behind the house, and thinking about the sun coming back. Knowing it will eventually, but checking the length of the days, trying to figure out when we've turned the corner, how long is it going to be before we get to emerge? And this year we are all connected to that tradition. We know what it means to be holding on. We know it on a whole new level. And we also know how, in the middle of what can only be described as a marathon of exhaustion, there are always these moments of warmth and light and Mary smiling at the baby, or driving to look at the Christmas lights in the car with Coco on the kids' laps, or caroling with your friends on Zoom. And you will find and make these moments of joy, and you should embrace them and let them warm you to your toes, no matter how unorthodox they are. Because the beauty of these moments is that no amount of anything sucking can make them any less beautiful. This is true every year, and it will be true this year. Know that cold and dark and uncertainty cannot cancel Christmas. Nothing can cancel Christmas. It's not cancelable. Because the real meaning of Christmas is to endure uncertainty and to have change. And the meaning of Christmas is not about being perfect. Every piece of the story, when you trace it back, is about the opposite of being perfect. It's about something more beautiful and more profound and way less photogenic. To be human is to be part of a great story of learning and changing and enduring and making do. And you, with your imperfect holiday, you fit right into that story. Christmas is not failing you. You're not failing Christmas. You're doing Christmas exactly right.